Christmas, everybody! So, yeah, as you can see, I'm dressed up for the occasion. This is one of the 2 dresses that I actually got in Japan in Harajuku before I moved back home, and they technically belong to my photographer, but because I bought them for him, I'm allowed to use them for my videos. So, why not be a little extra? Because that is honestly kind of my whole personality at this point. I was obviously having some issue uploading, but we won't get too far into that for the intro. I just really want to get into the setup so you guys can see this not necessarily quick and easy setup, but more of a traditional Christmassy vibe, because my brain was so fried by the end of November, because of reasons we'll get into, that I thought going simple but also trying to be a little bit more creative would be the best route. Let's get into all the end of the year thoughts and all those cover-upples, because trust me, December is full of those, especially since, as of recording today, it is exactly a year since I've returned home from Japan, and that has a lot of mixed emotions on top of everything else that I'm feeling about the end of the year. So, without further ado, let's just get into it, otherwise I'm gonna go into rambling mode way too soon. If you've been here for a while, my cover pages are always the last thing that I do, and by the time I actually finish this whole setup, I was not in the mood to draw. So that is why I ended up using an attempt at a photo from the scrapbook line that I used for this setup. As you can see, they don't connect very well, but it's close enough to being connected that I was like, you know what? This will be fine. So since last year, I wasn't able to actually show my December setup when I was making it. I used a lot of my Japanese stickers, and I wanted to bring elements from that setup into this year, since now obviously I have my proper filming and I have all my beautiful scrapbook supplies, and I bought a crap ton more of these cute Santa stickers. So you'll see them a little bit later in this setup, but for the cover page, I knew I just needed to keep it simple, and I just distressed the edges with my scissors, as I do with a lot of my paintings, or sorry, not paintings, as I do with a lot of my drawings, because it just adds a nice softness to it, because I just don't like super harsh lines. And plus, with it being December, wintry and all that, the distressed look kind of looks like snow in a way. And after I glued that down, I used this beautiful washi tape. I also got this at Loft, and my god, I went so extra broke when I was buying all the stationery supplies from that place. Being able to find Christmassy stuff, not quite as much I was hoping for, just because Japan doesn't really celebrate Christmas like the way Western countries do, but it was still incredibly cute things. I tried to write December here, and I ended up going a little bit too big, because I've learned from previous experience doing this design that I need to write out the word first and then try to do the script font, but because of my lack of room, I ended up making the word way too big. So I completely scrapped that and started over. But yeah, I just used the old title in my schedule page from last year's book and just did it here, and it saved me a lot of brain thinking energy. Can you tell I haven't been on mic for a while? I am not warmed up at all. If you want to try this, obviously not for your December setup because I'm so freaking late with this, but if you want to try it with any of your other designs and scrolls, I found that was the best tactic for it. Jingle, 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 you'll hear my sleigh bells ring. I am old Kris Kringle, I'm the king of jingling. Please tell me you guys know where that's from. If you don't, I'm gonna be very sad. So comment down below if you know exactly what I'm singing. But yeah, I grabbed some more of these cute Santa stickers, added it to the corners with my washi tapes, and that was basically it. It's super cute, it's super simple. Probably not the most intense thumbnail I've ever done, but whatever. It's fine. I really like how it looks. Oh, I messed that up. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna roll with it because I messed up putting my sections in the proper order. So my weekly spread is actually the second last spread, but if I change it now, it's not going to render in time before I have to go see my bestie. So we're just gonna talk about the weekly spread now. I went back with my Dutch door design that I used in my October setup of this year, because when I completed that whole thing, I really loved how it looked. It exceeded my expectations with it, so I was like, why not just make a Christmassy version of it? It worked super well, and I was anticipating my December being pretty busy. Not the way that it actually ended up being busy. It was supposed to be busy in like Christmassy type of things, but we'll get into that a little bit later after I'm done explaining how I did this. So if you didn't check out my October one, all I did was sketch out the tabs and corners, and I just did it the exact same measurements, but because of the page being sewn together in a certain way, this one piece of paper ended up looking like a little bit longer despite having the same counting of the dots. So I just trimmed it down to size, and I was just like going really slow with that, because that's the thing when you're cutting your bullet journal, like that is the true form of no going back. Like you need to be really sure of what you're cutting. So that's why you could see all the little written guides for myself. I loved that this page had one side with this simple plaid beige, but then on the opposite side it was green to kind of continue with the paper's colors. On the side that has the green, I would put my green distressed ink, and then on the side that I had the beige, I would put my red. So then I would bring out more of the red of the Christmas Santas. So while I'm doing that, I will go into the first kind of craziness that happened in November. So November, I got sick twice. Also technically started 3 new jobs. Oh no, it stopped recording. Sorry, my camera died and now I kind of lost my train of thought because I had to wait for it to cool down. Yeah, November was just kind of lots of new things, figuring out how to navigate through this new job, because now that I'm not at Claire's, I can't remember if that's the first time I've dropped that bomb, but I was at Claire's. I looked like a homeless person, and at this job, you can't do that, which is understandable. You shouldn't have to, look like a bum because the job entails you to not be able to wear nice clothes. But trying to figure out what is technically work appropriate as a girl with long hair that takes forever to wash, it was just, I started to get really burnt out really quickly, but I finally figured out some like hairstyles that can work, realized, hey, I don't actually need to wear makeup every day. It's just stupid stuff that I should have just known, but I didn't really know. Then the other 2 jobs is freelance cleaning, so figuring out all that on top of all the Christmassy things that I wanted to do. But on the plus side, I do like being at my new job. It was just that like first little hurdle of figuring out like what is actually appropriate that was kind of like mentally taxing on me, but I think I'm good now. I think I'm improving, and I have high hopes for how this will go in the new year. With that little rant done, the next spread is technically the spread that's right after the cover page, my to-do list / habit trackers page. Now, I did another Dutch door thing. I used the design of my Jack Skellington content list for this one. Same size of the Dutch door, but instead of obviously having a giant drawing, because I am way too burnt out for that, I am done with drawing for a while, we went with more of just using as much of my Christmas paper as possible, including this beautiful letter paper from Japan. I did use some of this for my November setup because the blues just looked really well. Not really well. The blues looked really good. I cut it up and saved the snowflakey sections since I already used those and focused it to be on my task. So took some stuff from the main paper and took some stuff from the envelope and moved on to the next page. Now, I liked how on my October setup I used a black and white striped page, so I just took some more paper from the Simple Stories line and the same thing on these. And one of my goals for the new year is to use up, like, I would say 90% of my scrapbooking supplies. Like, I still really enjoy doing I'm making myself jingle again. I really enjoy doing the hobby still, but a good chunk of the past 10 years of saving it's just kind of been sitting there. I want to make this the decade of finishing things, not starting them and then just having them sit there. But for the adulting and videos section, I wanted to keep it as small as possible. And because I had one extra page on my Dutch door, I decided to make the first page my biggest achievements of 2023. I did the same thing in a less of a pretty design for last December, since obviously it was the end of 2022 and that was a big year on its own, but coming back from Japan, there was even more feelings, and now there's going to be almost the same amount of big feelings, I'm sure. So once I actually give myself the breather to really talk about it, I wanted to give myself like a decent amount of space to write about it, because you think I go into rant mode here, I go into even bigger rant mode when I'm journaling. But anyway, the habit tracker, I used the side of one of the papers that was like this gorgeous red and green plaid. I love that this line was like a very pastel-y looking Christmas. It went really well with these Japanese stickers, and this was the first set. I got 3 sets, and this one is mostly just like Santa heads in a bunch of different colored hats, but the pastel with the gold and everything, ugh! It's just so cute. I love it so much. And then this one is just like him just dancing around. It's just, I just love it so much. He's just so cute. Japan knows how to do like the cutest shit ever. And I can't wait to go back and not be worried about like my monthly budget of like living there and just like go there for a few months and just go ham with the things that I wasn't able to buy when I was living there. I'm gonna be so broke, but that means there'll be a lot more hauls. While I throw on some more of these stickers, let's do a quick change, shall we? This one's my favorite. It's so blue and it's so cute. I kind of wish I just bought it for myself because I would legit wear this out because I'm extra like that. Look, I even have little ears and I have a tail too, but that's kind of hard to show you on camera. But anyway, with that section done, wrapping it up with just a little bit extra of distress ink, I finished up the little Dutch door. But my only problem I was having with this is that I wasn't 100% sure what to use this last 2 pages for, but my sleep has also been really effed up the past 2 months. Like, it's either I'm incredibly sore from waking up, like apparently you can sleep wrong, so I haven't been that sore basically since coming back from Japan, and also to the point where it's like this right side of my neck, even though that's not like my problem side where my blood clot was, it was getting like abnormally stiff to the point of causing migraines, so then I was having to spend more money at the chiropractor and thinking I might have been sick like a 3rd time, and it was just, my body has not been cooperating with me lately. So yeah, I decided, you know what, we better bring back that sleep and productivity chart, but I also forgot to put my little stars for the productivity section, so I've just been tracking mostly my sleep, and I haven't gotten around to figuring out how to add on those extra things. And I was also a dumbass and forgot to do that final last page flip through for that section, so you'll see it at the end of the video. But moving on to the very last spread, of course I'm bringing back Brain Dump. Now, the brain dump for my spread in my last year's December setup, I did the candy canes just on the corner here, as you can see, and I thought, you know what, since I'm really into making the borders for the past few months, I wanted to do the candy cane thing for the border. But after I finished the whole thing, I think I should have just made the border thinner, because all of a sudden it's going from like pastel-y Christmassy colors to like, wha-bam, a big red page. Even though that's the same sizing as the other borders in my previous 2 setups. So if I could redo that, that would be my plan. I tried to bring in whatever washi tape I had that was just like red and candy cane feeling, and added in more of my Santa stickers. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't really know what else to say for the brain dump. And since that is our last spread, I'm gonna just finish up with my little update of why videos haven't been uploaded as often as they should have. I had like at least 4 videos planned for this month, and none of that happened because my laptop decided to be a little bitch. Again, it seems to be happening every single year, once a year at the very least, and it's driving me nuts. So, because of that, editing these bullet journaling videos has been way harder than I anticipated. Now I will be spending my next paycheck and Christmas money on a new desktop computer. Thankfully, at least like the laptop technically works, but for all these videos that I have, I can't afford to have it keep slowing down on me or needing to restart multiple times in a day, and in the little amount of time I have to edit anyway, it's just becoming more of a strain on me, and then I get so frustrated that I just give up and stop, which is not a good mentality to have. But to interrupt my little ramblings, we are going to be going over the final flip through. So overall, I loved using the old design from the October setup and just made it amplified cute Christmas. It's totally elevated from last year's Christmas design. I am going to miss using these Santa stickers, and I think they're gonna have to make a little bit of a comeback for next December, depending on what papers I end up using. But who knows? But yes, let's now go back into my rant and reflect on 2023. now that I'm realizing more and more that like, hey, it's time to finally invest in the desktop and just take that plunge with the money, because I don't regret buying this thing because I can still like do work when I'm traveling, when I eventually get to that point of my career. I need a desktop to be able to handle the big videos, because anytime I try to edit something with more than 45 minutes of footage, it just freezes. And I'm tired of it. And when that happens, I think I'm gonna do a new office tour. Let me know if you're interested in that. Leave a Christmas emoji. So I'm really excited to put it together. I'm really excited to show it to you guys. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. This will be my last video of 2023. It being a year since I came back from Japan, I remember being not really sad and also happy that I'm coming home. I didn't want to go home, but at the same time, I did want to go home because I was in a lot of physical pain. I had gained 10 pounds living there due to a mirage of reasons. Stress, bad sleeping, and then turning into trying to lose the weight, losing it by a little bit, but then getting a knee injury and then not being able to work out, and then eating too much because I was just getting sad. But then the last month and a half I was there, I was like, F it, I'm just gonna eat what I want and have fun, and I'll worry about losing weight when I get home. So it was a lot of fluctuations, left me kind of like, I was just sad that most of my closet that I brought there and most of my clothes here wouldn't fit me anymore, and I haven't had that feeling since 2019. So that wasn't fun. That, and then being in a lot of debt. I came back 10 grand in Visa debt, and if you've ever been in credit card debt, you know how long that can take, especially when you're used to only making at most 2 grand a month. So this year was a lot with growing pains and getting myself back together, but at the end of August, I was able to get out of my Visa debt, so I'm completely Visa free now, and I quit the crappy job that got me out of the debt and was causing a lot of other stresses, physically and mentally. So having those 2 months after quitting to just focus on my physical health and YouTube, I was able to lose 9 pounds in 2 months. The healthy way. I did not starve myself. Don't worry. I went to the gym 4 days a week and started training for my marathon seriously, cut out all fast food, drank little to no fun drinks. I was very strict with my diet, and I have not felt better since. I've let it go a little bit slack this past month because it's obviously Christmas, but that was a big thing I'm really, really proud of myself for being able to do. I also, lots of milestones just before I turned 30, and I'm so proud of myself, but because of the 2 months, 9 pounds of weight loss, and I got monetized on the Leaf Factor. Hell yes! Just before, like 2 weeks before my birthday. Couldn't believe that happened. And a couple days after my birthday, I was able to get my first magazine cover. It was just like, holy crap, a lot of really, really good things happened. And then, whenever there's a bunch of good things, usually bad has to come after it. So that bad was just figuring out new scheduling and working around being sick and computer problems in November and December. But that's okay. I am looking forward to the new year. So there's my ramble. There's my update. And thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a little bit longer than you probably were thinking this was going to be, and more than I intended, but I wanted to keep you guys in the loop because I do miss producing videos. I do miss filming them and getting them out on time. I'm looking forward to this new year where hopefully I won't have the same kind of technical problems. My goal is just to be super consistent with my YouTube uploads and consistent with my workouts to run that marathon. Let me know what you guys achieved this year, if this was a great achievements year or just a stressful year or a mixture of both. Try to think on the positives, because I know it can be really tempting, honestly really easy, to focus on the bad, but do your best to focus on the good, because who wants to be miserable, right? So yeah, share your good stories in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the new year. Bye!